to my art channel. Without further ado, let's get drawing.
Hi everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be drawing a mountain landscape with a sunset. We're going to be doing this in a colour theme of red, purple, pink and yellow. I love the way that these colours pop and really stand out together. So to begin with, we are going to open up a new canvas and I'm going to be using screen size for this canvas. Now, to begin with, I'm going to separate my canvas into two areas. I'm going to have the sky and the water, and then we're going to add the mountains in the middle. So for the water, I'm going to be doing a dark blue, and I'm going to be using my studio pen. And to begin with, I'm just going to draw a rugged line, and then I'm going to drag and drop my dark blue purple colour down here. I'm actually going to change it and probably make it slightly more blue, and then I'm going to add a deep red colour. I'm going to add a new layer and bring it underneath, and then I'm going to add a deep red colour to the back here. Okay, now we are going to add a new layer, and this layer we are going to add in between the sky and the water, and I'm going to be choosing a red colour, and then we're going to be adding some shadows and other colours to this colour that we're going to be using. So again, in your studio pen, start to begin by just drawing some very rugged kind of mountains. Then you're going to add a new layer and you're going to bring it beneath the mountains that you've just drawn, and in a similar colour but slightly different so that you can see what you're doing. Go ahead and just do the same again, and then a new layer again, bring it beneath all the others and just create some extra depth here, and then drag and drop. Now these are going to be the 3 layers of mountains that we are going to be using. Now to begin with, make sure that you pick a specific colour that you're going to be using for your mountains, because we're going to be recolouring these as we go on. Now I just want to turn on alpha lock for all 3 of the mountains, and I'm going to go ahead to my back one, and I'm going to choose a colour from my palette that I want to be using. I'm just going to drag and drop and recolour the whole set of mountains, and I'm going to go to my noise brush and I'm going to pick yellow, and then I'm just going to bring some yellow highlights to the top of the mountains, and in a deep purple burgundy I'm just going to bring some shadows like so. And then I'm going to go to my second set of mountains and I'm going to do the same. It's going to bring some shadows here, and then in the yellow I'm going to be doing some highlights. I'm also going to just drag and drop and recolor my set of mountains. And then again for the front set, I'm just going to drag and drop and recolor. And then I'm going to be choosing my noise brush, adding some shadows, and again some highlights like so. Okay, then we are going to add a new layer, and in the same yellow but with your studio pen inking brush, we're just going to zoom in and we're just going to add some yellow outlines, and we're going to bring it down the lines with the curves of the mountains. So that you will have something that looks like this. You don't have to outline. I'm going to be using the bloom effect on this. And then you'll have something that looks like this. And then just add some extra lines in here. We'll add the extra bloom to this when we are finally finished. Okay, now I'm going to add a new layer above the water, and I'm going to choose black, and I'm just going to draw a black line all the way across here, and then I'm going to choose an orange color, and I'm just going to add an orange line across here, and then I'm going to turn on alpha lock for my sea, and with the noise brush in a bright pink, I'm just going to add some details with the noise brush like this. I'm going to add some yellow, and then I'm going to add some dark blue black down here. We're also going to be creating a kind of reflection down here as well when we're finished. Now we are going to combine our mountains. So I've merged them all together, and I'm just going to duplicate, and then on the top layer, alpha lock's turned on, and I'm going to fill my layer with a dark blue. Now I'm going to flip my canvas, and I am going to bring this above all my other layers, and I'm going to place it beneath the line, and I'm just going to resize. You see, now that's where I made a mistake. Okay, so I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to duplicate my layer. I'm going to fill my layer, and I'm just going to turn my layer upside down, and I'm just going to turn the transparency way down. And then I am going to erase this part of the layer that's on top of the mountains. So you can erase that, or you can cut it out with your cut brush. Okay, then we are going to choose our liquify brush. Now to liquify, we need to make sure alpha lock's turned off. So click on liquify and then on the push, I'm going to turn the size down, maybe up a little bit. And I'm just going to liquify the edges and create the crystallized effect. And then you have a reflection in the water, which we're not quite finished with yet, because once we do the sun, then we're going to bring the sun down here as well. So let's move on to the next part of the drawing. We're going to add a new layer, and in a yellow with my studio pen brush, we're just going to draw a circle, edit shape, click on circle, and then drag and drop. And then you can resize the circle and you'll have something that looks like this. Okay, now we are going to duplicate, and moving through the color wheel, we're just going to add a slightly darker color, and we're going to turn the transparency down, and we're just going to move it so that it's center. We're going to duplicate again, and we're going to make it even bigger. And this time we're going to move to the oranges. And on each one you can lower the transparency and the size. On this last one I'm going to do red. And I'm just going to drag and drop my color. And then on the last one, I'm going to go to my Gaussian blur, and I'm just going to slightly blur that last one in the background. I'm then going to merge all of these layers together, and I'm going to bring them behind the mountains. So now you have the sun, which is behind the mountains. We are now going to duplicate the sun. We're going to bring it above, and we are going to fill the layer, turn on alpha lock, fill the layer with a dark color, black or brown, fill the layer, and then I'm just going to turn the transparency down, and then I'm going to add this here. And to make sure that it's perfectly placed, I'm just going to use my warp brush to just kind of warp this in so it's like so. And then on the water, I'm going to add a new layer, and in my inking brush again in white, I'm just going to add some white squiggles. And then I'm going to go back to my liquify brush, and I'm just going to twirl them like so. And then I'm going to turn the transparency down on these as well. You can make them thicker and thinner, and you can just warp them. And then you'll have something that looks like this for the water. I'm just going to go back to my mountain set, and I'm going to go to my bloom brush, and I'm going to click on layer, and I'm just going to bloom my mountains. As you can see now, it looks as if they're shining in the dark. I'm also going to go to my sun, and I'm going to bloom this layer as well. And then I'm going to go to my sky layer, and I'm going to use my soft blend airbrush, and I'm just going to go and pick a purple color, and I'm just going to bring some purple tones and some yellow, and then I'm just going to blur these layers together. and I am going to add a new layer on top, and with the same airbrush I'm just going to add some bright pink on top, and then you're just going to blend all these colours together so it really does look like a faraway sunset that you're looking at, very abstract. Okay, so go back to your sky layer and you can go ahead and pick your luminance brush, your light pen, and in white just go ahead and dot some stars everywhere. You don't have to be too over the top. And then go back to your squiggly line layer and then just go ahead and add some dots in here so it looks as if the water is reflecting stars as well. If you do the stars on a new layer, then you can duplicate and bring it down as well like before. And you can play about with the bloom features so that everything shines in the sunset. You can blend more colors together, so just play about with it, and it's a really fun abstract painting to do.
Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because it really helps me in creating more free videos for all of you out there. So if you want to come and join my Procreate group, the links are in the description. I'd love for you to be a member of my group. We can share awesome ideas, tips and artwork. Also, please don't forget to tag me on Instagram so that I can see what work you've created from this awesome tutorial. So love to you all, and I'll see you in the next video.